I've spent countless hours exploring the darkest corners of horror games on the Switch, and these titles have genuinely made me question my decision to play them late at night. Let me take you through 10 games that have mastered the art of creating genuine fear. Perception flips the horror genre on its head by putting you in the role of a blind protagonist. Using echolocation to see the world creates this unsettling experience where every sound you make to understand your surroundings might attract unwanted attention. The abandoned estate at Echo Bluff comes alive through sound design, footsteps above you, creaking doors, and whispers that feel too close for comfort. When your only way to see is also what might get you killed, every step becomes a calculated risk. Outlast II transported me to the Arizona desert where religious fanaticism meets absolute darkness. As Blake Langerman, armed with only a night vision camera, I found myself documenting horrors that still stick with me. The way the game uses the camera's limited battery life creates this constant tension. Do I conserve power and risk missing something in the dark? Or do I keep recording and hope I find batteries soon? The school flashback sequences blur the line between reality and nightmare in ways that make you question everything you see.
But it is joyous all, for we are in the sorrows of a travailing woman. From this arbor is a place of the breaking forth.
Blair Witch captures that feeling of being helplessly lost in the woods, but adds layers of psychological horror that play with your mind. Your loyal dog Bullet becomes both your greatest ally and a source of anxiety. His behavior warns you of danger, but losing sight of him creates instant panic. The way the game manipulates time and space, making you walk in circles even when you're sure you're going straight, builds this suffocating sense of disorientation. The camcorder mechanic, which lets you alter reality by watching found footage, adds a unique twist to exploration.
How did we end up back here? There's still some leftovers inside. Maybe a few days old.
Maid of Sker brings Welsh folklore to life in ways that make me glad these are just stories. Set in a remote hotel, the game's sound-based stealth mechanics force you to control even your breathing. The enemies, blind but hypersensitive to noise, create these intense moments where you have to time your movements between their patrols. The folk songs woven throughout the narrative don't just add atmosphere. They become crucial to understanding the hotel's dark history and surviving its horrors. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard's Switch Cloud port loses none of the original's oppressive atmosphere. The Baker family estate becomes this twisted playground where danger lurks in every shadow. The shift to first-person perspective makes each encounter feel personal. When Jack Baker crashes through a wall, you feel like you're really there. What starts as a search for your missing wife evolves into this desperate fight for survival where resources are scarce and every counts. Before we continue, how are you enjoying the list so far? Any games catching your eye? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to drop a comment below. Your feedback means a lot and helps me bring you the content you love. Now, let's dive back into the list. Anthology of Fear plays with different types of horror across 3 distinct episodes. Each story tackles different fears, from cosmic horror that questions reality itself to psychological terror that makes you doubt your own mind. The game's approach to sound design deserves special mention. Wearing headphones, you can pinpoint exactly where threats are coming from, but that knowledge doesn't always help you escape them. The way each episode changes its gameplay mechanics keeps you from ever feeling too comfortable with your survival strategies. The Bridge. Curse 2. The Extrication builds on Taiwanese urban legends to create something uniquely terrifying. The game's university setting feels grounded in reality until supernatural elements start bleeding through. What makes it effective is how it uses cultural beliefs about spirits and the afterlife to create scenarios where Western horror tropes don't apply. The rules you think you know about surviving horror situations don't work here. The curse mechanic adds urgency to every action, as certain decisions can strengthen or weaken the supernatural forces hunting you. The Dark Pictures anthology, Man of Medan, takes the choice-based narrative format and sets it aboard a ghost ship, where every decision can lead to someone's death. The branching storyline means no two playthroughs are quite the same, and the multiplayer options add another layer of tension. Knowing your friend's choices might get your character killed creates interesting social dynamics. The way the game plays with shared hallucinations makes you question which threats are real, and which exist only in the characters' minds. Transient merges cyberpunk with Lovecraftian horror, creating this unique blend where technological and cosmic horrors become indistinguishable. As you hack through both digital and supernatural barriers, the line between reality and virtual nightmares becomes increasingly blurred. The game's use of multiple reality layers, real-world, cyberspace, and cosmic planes creates situations where solving a puzzle in one realm has horrifying consequences in another. The way it handles sanity mechanics, where prolonged exposure to either technological or eldritch horrors affects your perception, adds depth to every encounter.
His brain was fried.
Remothered. Tormented Fathers stands out with its focus on stalker-type enemies that learn from your actions. The game's mansion setting might seem familiar, but the way it handles enemy AI creates unique challenges. Hide in the same place too often, and they'll start checking there first. The investigation elements don't pause the horror. You're piecing together the mystery while constantly being hunted. The sound design excels at creating false alarms that keep you paranoid. Was that just the house settling, or something worse?
What happened, my dear?
Out. Until next time.